Okay, folks, good morning. We'll be starting our chair yoga class momentarily. I'm going to put on some generic yoga relax music. Unfortunately, I don't know the names of any of the songs. So what I'd suggest is just find something that says yoga music or relaxing music, instrumental music, and we'll use that as the background for our class.
Remember the Sabbath day.
And no, we don't need ads from YouTube to start. Okay, I'll invite everyone to find their focus. Sit with your feet on the floor, ground down through your feet, maybe on the floor, maybe on a block. Feel your legs against the back of the chair. Take your back, small of your back against the chair. Take your hands to your lap. Palms up to receive wisdom. Palms down to retain your wisdom. And let's take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling, filling the lungs. Keep inhaling, fill all three lobes of the lungs. And on your exhale, sigh it out. Let's do it again like ladder breathing. Let's inhale for a count of 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top for 2. And then exhale to a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale again, this time inhaling for 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 2, exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. One more breath in, either a 4 or a 6, your choice, yogi's choice. Inhale up. Hold at the top. And exhale out, and as you exhale, gently open your eyes, root down through your pelvis, root down through your feet. Let's start very gently, warming up from the feet up. Come onto the forward part of your chair. Inhale up onto the toes, and let's start with leg rotations to the right. Feel that stretch in the sides of your calf. A couple more circles around to the right, come back to center, and circles to the left. And one more circle and come straight back down. Let's work on strengthening the feet now. There are 26 bones in the feet, 65 joints, believe it or not, and about 100 different combinations of muscle, tendon, and ligament. So let's start lifting one heel at a time. Have your hands in your lap. Notice as you lift your feet the compression and the extension of your quadricep muscle. Let's take our hands to the side of our legs. There's a muscle on the side of the calf. It's, Jeanette, just a little bit further down toward the calf. Yeah, and that is the soleus muscle. It is very, very hard to isolate. This is one of the few exercises that does it, and I teach this to everyone, even higher level athletes, because it's so hard to exercise this specific muscle. And then return both heels to the floor, and let's inhale both heels up together at the same time. Exhale down to touch. And go back and forth. Inhale up, exhale down. And then inhale up, exhale down, and don't touch. Give yourself a little bit more challenge here. Giving your muscles a little bit more to work on. And 2 more up. And then exhale down. Let's sit back in the chair a little bit and work on some leg extensions. Inhale up, point the toes toward the nose. Exhale down. Go back and forth. 3 or 4 each side. You're looking to get that feeling of extension from your Achilles tendon through the back of the leg, right up through the hamstrings. And then let's return both feet to the floor. You can sit back in your chair, even grip the chair a bit for a little bit more support. And then on an inhale, lift both legs. Take the toes to the nose. Hold here. And exhale down. And let's do 2 more repetitions. You can rock forward a bit. And then on the inhale, bring the legs up, toes to the nose, and exhale down. 1 more. Inhale up, and exhale down. Let's work now on stretching the trunk. Inhale, the arms up tall. Next inhale, take the shoulders up toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, hinge at the hips, lower your body down, fold over, taking the hands to the lap, the knees, the shins, the ankles, or the floor. And let's hang out here. I'm not going to tell you how long we're going to be here. It might be an eternity or seem like an eternity, because I want you to concentrate on totally relaxing. Don't think you're going to come up in 1 breath or 2 breaths. Just concentrate solely on letting your lower back relax, loosen, and lengthen. The idea here is to encourage the body's relaxation response, and rather than trying to keep your back tight, is to just let your lumbar spine and all the supporting muscles around it relax, loosen, and lengthen. On your next inhale, come up on your fingertips. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up your legs, back into your lap, and let's shoulder shrug forward and shoulder shrug back. Let's take the arms a little bit wider, hinging at the hips to come forward. Butterfly stroke swimming. Root down through the feet, root down through the tailbone. You're looking to get both extension of the lumbar spine and also rotation in the rotator cuffs. As you bring your arms around, try to reach your fingers as far out as possible. Imagine that as your hands are cupped, you're pushing water back. 1 more stroke, back to center and shoulder shrug. Now we're going to work the arms in a little bit of a different direction, looking at gaining more work for the rotator cuffs. If you were in the previous class where we've already done this exercise, just due to the degree where you're comfortable and you're building on that muscle memory you have already established. So let's go for breaststroke, inhaling out, rocking forward on the pelvis as required. You're looking again for lower back extension and also working on strengthening the muscles in the shoulders and the rotator cuff. And I can hear clicking in mine as we do this. Hello? Millie? Are you there? Okay, 1 more circle around and come back to center and shoulder shrug. Now, I don't have my hearing aids in. Could you say that again, please?
I thought I heard my name.
I did. I said Millie.
Oh, yeah.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Good, good. Can you hear all right?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, what about the music? Can you hear the music today?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit better.
Okay, good, because we were working hard on trying to coordinate the microphone with the phones, and we think it is a bit better today than last week. Okay, let's get back in the chair, root down through the tailbone. Now we'll work the rotator cuff in the other direction, backstroke. Inhale the arm up, exhale down as you raise your opposite arm. And if you do have any impingement or restriction in your rotator cuff, you don't need to take your arm as high. If you can, try to take it straight back. But if you do have any impingement, maybe come up just 3/4 of the way. Both are good. And if you do have impingement, what you will notice over time is a gradual, very incremental improvement in your ability to rotate that arm. And I know this from personal experience. I've had 4 ripped rotator cuffs. So I understand that this can be challenging if you have frozen shoulder or any type of damage to your shoulders. Okay, 2 more circles around each arm. . And then come back to center. Let's root down through the feet and the tailbone again. Inhale the arms up tall. And on the exhale, chair twist to your right. Take your right shoulder back, take your left arm across your right hip, and on an exhale, try to bring your right shoulder a little bit further back to the rear. Last breath in here, sigh it out, inhale back up to center, and exhale, chair twist to your left. On your next exhale, try to take your left shoulder back a little bit more. Inhale back up to center, and I will invite you to do 2 more repetitions each side to the rhythm of your breath. And when you finish your second repetition on your second side, come back to center and shoulder shrug forward and back. If you find that your shoulders are feeling compressed, it's the body's natural response to want to loosen and open those muscles. Shoulder shrug forward and back is the simplest one to do. People do it almost instinctively. Another one we can do is to come onto the forward part of your chair, lean forward a little bit, and then do shoulder circles in and out. That can also be very helpful. I learned that one last year from a lady I had. I was teaching her restorative yoga. She was an equestrian that had fallen off a horse and had frozen shoulder for about 50 years. And I learned that one from her, which was a great little tool to put in my instructor toolkit. And come back to center. Now, how did that feel doing that exercise? Was it that one with the circles in, circles out helpful? Good, good, yeah. So now we want to give the shoulders a little bit of work to do, and we wanted to get them well warmed up. So this next exercise is a little bit more challenging, but this particular one with shoulder arm rotations will help strengthen when you're going forward, the forward part of the deltoid muscle, and when you're going back, the rear part of the deltoid. It will also work to tighten the tendons, the supraspinatus tendons above the ball joint of the humerus, the big arm bone. It'll also work on the subscapularis tendon where the shoulder blade joins the armpit as well. So let's bring the arms out to a T. Make sure you get a good distance from your neighbor. We all want to leave with all our teeth, real or artificial. And lower your shoulders down a little bit or up. See where you're comfortable. If this is uncomfortable with your shoulders level, drop them down and start with some gentle arm rotations to the front. Root down through your feet. You can take your feet on the block, root down through your pelvis, and get to the point where you're getting a gentle sense of fatigue building. That's lactic acid being stored in the muscle. And then distract your brain by giving your brain something else to do. When you're worried about coordinating or worried about balance, your thoughts tend to move away from, boy, my shoulder is getting bored. Okay, and then start bringing it down bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. And let's do a shoulder release by leaning forward, and you can have the arms going in and out to stretch the deltoid muscle. Or that exercise where you lean in and you circle in and then you circle out. And then come back up to center. Everything we do in yoga, we do left, we do right, we do front, we do rear. So now we have to go in the other direction, or karma is going to be disturbed and the universe will evolve in a way other than it should, so to speak. So let's bring the arms up to a T again. Root down through the feet, root down through the tailbone, and circles in the other direction. Again, when you start to get bored with this, give your brain something else to do. And there's all sorts of funny stuff you can do. You can do a tap, you can do a heel bump, you can do a double tap, you can do a heel bump, all sorts of stuff. And then come down under control bit by bit by bit. And I know, Pat, you have some soreness on the other side, so what you're doing is fine. And then shoulder release, stretch that muscle. And then circles in, circles out, and come back up to sitting tall. Now, we're going to go a little bit deeper with the shoulders now. Eagle arms. This is where we're going to work on internal rotation of the shoulders. I'm going to take my right arm beneath my left, and you folks are probably better at this than I am because my shoulders are a bit wide and a bit damaged. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can do better eagle arms than I can. So here's eagle arms on the right side. Lift the elbows a bit on an inhale. And on an exhale, drop the shoulders down and rotate the shoulders forward and back. Take the stress out of the shoulders now that we've compressed them. Let's do the opposite side. Let's take the left arm under the right. And on an inhale, inhale that elbow up. Bring the elbows toward the center of the body with the elbow high. Squeeze and then exhale, let it go, and shoulder shrug. Do the circles in, circles out if that's more comfortable on releasing the tension in your shoulders.
I'm getting tingling from here to here, which I know I get quite often.
When you do that?
When you did it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you still have the tingling at the moment, Joanne?
Yeah, through here.
Okay. What I would suggest is you do some muscle stretches like this, because what you're doing when you do this is tingling is usually a nerve being disrupted. And so what you want to do is you want to take the muscle that surrounds that nerve and give the muscle a stretch, which is going to move the nerve tract with it as well and allow it to return to normal. You can also go to a wall and do that same exercise against a wall. But what you're doing is you're just stretching the muscle along, which is going to stretch the nerve tract as well. So for you, I would recommend not doing the next exercise because we're going to go back to eagle again, but we're going to do the full chair eagle using both the arms and the legs. For you, concentrate on getting that long forearm muscle stretched out. Okay? So full chair eagle, take your right arm under your left, and then take your left foot in front of your right, or if it's available to you, take your left knee over your right knee. Lift the elbows. On an exhale, bring everything together. One more breath in. Exhale, let it go, unfold. Switch sides. Take left arm under the right and switch feet, take right foot over left or right knee over left, and on an exhale, draw the elbows together and the knees together. And exhale, let it go, shoulder shrug. And do a little bit of a dance left and right. How's your arm feel now, Joanne?
When I have it up like this, it stops in the hand.
Yeah.
I still have some here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's been like that for years.
Yeah, okay. For you,
Tone down
with the
some.
compression, just keep in mind what you want to do. If you have a feeling of tingling, that's probably a nerve being pinched, and what you want to do is to stretch the muscle around it, which is going to stretch the nerve tract, okay?
Yeah.
And what you were doing there, when you were putting your weight, extending your arm, did you feel any relief when you did that?
Yeah, well, I was curious whether the hand should be up or level or the arm.
It will depend on your body. And what your judging should be is when you're doing that, extending this area from the wrist to the elbow, do you feel less tingling?
Okay, so
You adjust your hands to where you feel you're getting the relief. Generally speaking, that's what most yoga teachers will tell you to do. We're not physiotherapists. However, we do know how muscles expand and contract, and we do know how joints move, and we're aware of how nerves can be pinched. And the general idea is if you have a feeling of compression, you want to relieve it by stretching the muscle long. And that works on almost any yoga pose or Pilates pose or fitness pose that you do, is you want to take the compression away by lengthening. Okay, so let's get up by our chairs, and if you wish, you can do this standing by the chair. You may have to move your chair a little bit, and I need to move my chair a bit forward. I want to do chair supported half forward fold. So root down through the feet. Inhale the arms up tall. Take that extra breath. Stretch the shoulders up by the ears. And on the exhale, half forward fold. Bring your hands down to your chair just as a support. Don't put all the weight on your chair. Keep the weight going down through your feet. And then as you exhale, drop down lower. Bring your head down toward your arms. And walk your feet in and out and move to the point where you find optimal stretch in your lower back. And to come out of this pose safely, take a half step in with each foot. Keep a gentle bend in your knees, and then on an inhale, push up with your glutes and using your arms for support to come up, and take a few shoulder shrugs. Okay, let's work using the chair for support. We will do a chair-supported tree pose, a balance pose, and I'm going to move to this side of the chair simply for the benefit of the camera and the class. And I'm going to start it on my left side simply because it's easier for everyone to see. So using the chair for support, turn your right knee out at about 90 degrees, taking your left heel in about where the point, just above your right ankle. You don't need to raise your foot yet, Joanne. You can keep the foot on the floor. And just get comfortable with this. Root down through your standing foot. Try to turn your knee out 90 degrees to the side. If it's not going to work for you today, just bring it out to what's comfortable for you. Maybe 45. Maybe 60 or 90 if that's possible, because what we're working on now is external rotation of the hip joint. And you can take your hand to the hips, hold here. If you feel well rooted, you can take your hands to your hips away from the chair. You can take your hands to heart center, or you can extend your arms tall and grow your tree. Make sure you're well rooted down through your standing foot. Hold here another breath, then return the hands to prayer pose, hands to heart center, and then exhale down. Lower that left bent leg and do a little walk back and forth, taking the stress away from that side. Option, we can go up a little bit higher if you wish. Let's turn the foot out to the side, and you can do this seated as well. And on an exhale, bring the heel up a little bit higher, holding on to the chair, still focusing on trying to have the knee out at 90 degrees. If you feel well rooted down through that standing foot, you can take the hand away from the chair, bringing the hand to the waist, to heart center, or extending the arms tall in mountain pose, or correction, tree pose, Vrksasana. Hold here for another breath. And then on exhale, bring the hands back to heart center. And then exhale the feet and the hands back down to the floor. And take a little walk. Stretch on that side. Let's move to the other side. So tree pose on the opposite side. Take your right knee out at 90 degrees. Okay, or go to your opposite side. Just make sure you've changed sides, that's all. Yeah, and that's okay, Pat, if you just do your opposite side. We're an equal opportunity employer. Pardon?
I don't know my right from my left.
And that's okay. That's why, you know what, that's why yoga teachers and Pilates teachers tend to say second side, because inevitably in a class there's going to be somebody who started on the wrong side. It doesn't matter. And that's why we will often say second side rather than right or left side, because someone's going to be started on the wrong side. It doesn't matter as long as you do both sides. So your second side. Your knee out to the right at 90 degrees. And then take your hands to your hips. If you can take your hands away from your chair, take your hands to heart center. Or on an inhale, grow the tree. Use the chair as required. And then exhale, hands to prayer, hands to heart center. And as you bring your hands down to heart center, release your right side and lower your leg down. Take a little walk. Take the stress out of the hips. And let's give the hips one more try. Turn the second side knee out at 90 degrees. Let's take it up a little bit higher. Maybe to the calf if that works for you, or just at the ankle is fine as well. That's equally good. As long as the knee is out to the side, let's take root down through that standing foot. Hold on to your chair, or take the hands to the hips. Bring the hands to heart center, and then extend, grow your tree. Hold here for a heartbeat. Exhale the hands back to prayer, hands to heart center, and then on an exhale, bring your hands down, lower your foot, and let's go for a little walk. Let's come back down to the chairs for a moment. We'll do a little leg stretch after all that work out to the side. Come into the middle of your chair, maybe grip your chair for support. Inhale the right leg up, toes to the nose. Feel that stretch up the back of the leg. And then exhale down. Second side. Inhale up the left side, or your right side if you started on the other side. It doesn't matter. Second side. That's why we say second side. Exhale down, and let's do a couple more each side, focusing on taking the toes toward the nose, which is going to stretch everything from the arch of the foot through the Achilles tendon, up through the gastrocnemius, the calf, and all the way up into the hamstrings.
That's where I notice it the most in here.
Yep. Well, you're pointing at your quads there.
Okay.
Yeah, your hamstring is on the back of your leg. Yeah, but you are working the quadricep. You're getting contraction of the quadricep when you do that. If you put your hand in your lap, you notice when you lift up, the muscle is moving. It's contracting as you take the toes up, and it's extending as you take the foot down. Okay, both legs together. Make sure you got a good grip on your chair, and inhale both legs up. Hold here for another breath. Feel that stretch all the way up the back of the leg. Exhale down. And I'll invite you, you can rock forward on your pelvis as you do this, make it a little bit easier. Inhaling up for a couple more repetitions. Exhale down. And then inhale up again. And let's do one more. And down. Let's come up on the toes, come onto the forward part of your seat. And do some knee circles. You might notice this right down into the area around your tailbone, because you're getting a little bit of a horizontal stretch in the little muscles at the base of the spine, the erector spinae. The erector spinae are horizontal muscles that go up the entire length of the spine, but it's very helpful to get that horizontal stretch of these muscles as well. Okay, one more turn around in the direction you're going, come back to center, and go in your second direction, we'll call it. There is no judgment. Don't worry about your left or your right. It is simply making sure you balance. Yep. You balance both sides of your body. And if you start on the opposite side, it doesn't matter. Okay, one more circle around, come back down, exhale the heels down, give your legs and your feet a little bit of an up and down motion. I'll offer you a arch of the foot strengthening exercise now. I'll invite everyone to come behind their chair. And I'm going to turn my chair a bit so Millie can see it at home. And it starts very simply with just heel raises. And when that gets a little bit too easy, inhale up both feet, exhale down to touch. Go up and down. You're strengthening primarily the gastrocnemius muscle, the big calf muscle now, but you're also working on the soleus muscle on the outside of the calf, which we've already worked on earlier. And now inhale up and down, but don't touch. And this is going to give your gastrocnemius a little bit more work to do. And if you wish, you can also take your hands away from the chair, a little bit of balance work. If need be, come right back to it. And then inhale up on your tiptoes. Take your hands to the chair as required. Hold here, giving your toes a nice stretch. And then exhale the heels back down and immediately rock back with your foot, raising your toes. Now you're stretching your calf in the opposite direction. Make sure you rock back on the other foot and raise your toes. This trick was taught to me by a massage therapist who asked me, why do I have so many knots in my calves? And I said, I teach these calf strengthening exercises. And she said, yeah, you give me a lot of work beating those knots out in your calves. So she said, do this, and you have to stretch the body. Once you've compressed a muscle, you have to stretch it in the opposite direction. So that's why I'm always talking about compression and extension. You're making sure the muscle is moved through its full range of motion, and it is stretched back to normal length. Okay. Now, how's everyone feeling in the lower legs, lower back? How you doing at home, Millie? You doing all right?
I'm okay, thanks.
Good, good. Okay, so we'll do what we did last week. We'll do the Warrior 1, 2 series using blocks. And I want to make sure that everyone is well set up as we do this, because we've got to... I like to describe yoga poses as being like building a house. You have to build a good solid foundation, and once your foundation is set, then you worry about breath and then movement as you come into a pose. So I'm going to go grab a block myself for purposes of demonstration, and I'll be right back in front of the camera in about 30 seconds. So just use this 30 seconds or so to take a drink of water, little walk around your chair. Okay, I'll review Warrior 1, 2, and 3 from the chair. And this can be a demanding series of exercises, particularly for the front of the hip, the psoas muscle, and also the side of the body, but it's very useful in getting a nice stretch on the front of the body. So I'm going to demonstrate it, starting with my left butt cheek down. I'll turn toward the camera a bit more so you can see it. And I don't have a block. There's no blocks left. I have a ball to support my leg. But if you look at your yoga block, you'll notice there's 3 levels. You can have it at the lower level, flat down. You can turn it up on its long side like you have, is it Jeanette? Ellen, that's it. I'm getting mixed up here.
Okay, no problem.
Like Ellen's block is the next level. And then, Joanne, you have the block long in your hand. That is, if you put it straight up and down like a skyscraper, that's it. That's the highest level. Now, I don't have all those levels. I'm just going to use this, which only has 1 level. No, it's okay, Pat. I can use this. I'm going to build the foundation by putting the block below my bent knee. So take your butt cheek onto the side of the chair. You're going to be facing to your left side on the chair. And that's okay, Jeanette, where you are. You just need to put it under your knee as opposed to your foot. That's it. Okay, take your weight into your front foot. Transfer the weight also into your butt cheek. Transfer the weight into your rear foot and your knee for support. On an inhale, chair Warrior 1, lift your arms and feel that stretch up the right side. Okay, and exhale the hands to heart center and lower the hands. And we're going to come back to this, but for now, just take your weight into your front foot and shift your feet back toward the center of your chair. And I'm going to help you in a moment. I'm going to offer you this block because I notice you don't have a block, and unfortunately they don't have enough blocks in this program. Okay, you want to? All right, sure. So could you turn so you're facing me, sitting in your chair?
Facing you?
Yeah, facing me, just to the side. Yeah, that's it. No, sit back down on your chair.
Pardon?
Sit on your chair.
Sit.
Yeah, sit. Yeah, okay. You have hearing problems as well? Yeah, I have hearing problems too. I'll show you, okay? This is what I'd like you to do. Sit like this. See, my bum is down on that side, my other leg is out. Yep, that's it. And then I'd like to offer you this to put your knee on. Can I touch your foot? Can I touch your foot?
Yeah.
Okay, move your foot back a little bit and take the weight onto the block. That's it. You got it. And then lift your arms up. And you're now in Chair Warrior 1. Good stuff. That's it. Okay, bring your hands to prayer hands and then the heart center. Take your weight onto your front foot and then gradually shift your weight back into your chair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll trade back again in a minute, okay?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, let's do the second side. So shift to your other side. Yeah, I'll come over and I'll do it with you again, Ann, okay? I'll come over and I'll do it with you separately. So take your right butt cheek onto the chair, take your left knee onto your prop, and then inhale your arms up tall. Feel that stretch on the left side, and then exhale your hands back to heart center, and lower your hands on the next exhale back to your lap. Place your weight into your front foot and then pivot on your tailbone to bring yourself back to sitting directly on your chair. So Ann, I'll come over and I'll help you with this as well. I'll help you do it. So stand up and I'll demonstrate it to you. This is what I want you to try. Sit on your chair on this side and drop this knee down. Okay? Yeah, no, face this way. And then take this knee back. Can I touch your foot?
Yeah.
Okay, move your foot back. And then drop this knee down to here. That's it. And now raise your arms. Chair Warrior 1 on the other side. Good job. Okay, exhale your arms back down to your lap. Take your weight into this foot. And now take this foot forward and then swivel your back onto the back of the chair.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. Okay, folks. Yeah, we're getting a little bit later in the class now, so let's stretch the lower back again. Let's inhale the arms up tall. Take that extra breath, bring the shoulder blades up, and then exhale the hands down to the lap, the knees, the shins, and then fold forward. And totally relax. Fold over your legs. Let the hands come down. And let the lower back relax, loosen, lengthen, and stretch. Take a few deep breaths here. Next inhale, come up on the fingertips. Next inhale, walk the hands back up the body. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. And take the shoulders up, back, and down. And come back to sitting. I'm going to find some music by local singer-songwriter Dave Carroll. Last class we did the song The Giant, which people really liked. So if the people who were here before can handle it, I'm going to play that song one more time. It's a very beautiful song about the importance of finding the giant within ourselves and then finding the giant within our maybe younger family members who need to be convinced that there is greatness in them as well. So, Millie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this yoga relaxation music off, and I'm going to find Dave Carroll's song, The Giant, and play that for our last relaxation song.
I'm not the only one on here. There's someone else on too.
Oh, I see. Yes, I see Peggy Scott, whose camera is there. Peggy, are you able to hear everything all right?
I can hear you.
Good. Thank you very much for that verification. So we're going to, I saw Millie in big white letters on the screen. I had to move in closer to see Peggy Scott in the lower left corner in small letters. So thank you for coming, both of you. So I'm just calling Dave off from off stage. He'll come on stage soon enough. Okay, this song is about finding the giant, the greatness in ourselves and in family members. I'll invite you to use this song as a time for one last stretch. We can inhale the arms up, do a forward fold. Relax here, let the lower back stretch. Take 3 or 4 breaths here, really encourage the lower back to relax, loosen, and lengthen. Coming up in 2 breaths. First breath, just come up on your fingertips, raise the head. Second breath, walk your hands back up the body. Take a few shoulder shrugs forward and back, and then I'll invite you to ground down through your feet, ground down through your tailbone. Use a block for your feet if that's most comfortable for you. And then come into a meditative pose with the palms open to receive wisdom, or maybe the palms down to retain wisdom, not let it run away on you, and just relax. Enjoy the music, listen to the words. And think about how can you apply Dave's advice to your own life or to the lives of friends and family. I'll invite you to start bringing your bodies back to life. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe take a stretch, long arms overhead. And then, as you exhale, to bring your hands into prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. Let your thumbs touch heart center to thank your body for its hard work. I'll invite you to raise your thumbs to your lips to thank your breath. And I'll invite you to raise your thumbs to your third eye and thank your brain for its exquisite coordination of movement combined with breath and balance, and for the courage to explore new things. Ladies, the light and the spirit of me honors and respects the light and the spirit in each one of you, today and always. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming, both in the studio and at home.